Throughout history, fashion has been shaped by more than just designers. It has been influenced by muses, those rare and captivating figures who awaken creativity and leave an unforgettable mark on a style. From Marc Jacobs and Sofia Coppola to Yves Saint Laurent and Betty Catroux, these relationships have defined entire eras of fashion. But what makes a muse truly special? Let's explore the fascinating world of muses, their influence, and the deep connections they share with designers. Marc Jacobs and Sofia Coppola, Saint Laurent and Betty Catroux, Givenchy and Audrey Hepburn. These are just a few examples of the legendary partnerships between designers and their muses, icons who spark creativity and help shape the entire collection. The connection between a designer and their muse is more complex than it seems. It's not just about looks. There is a deeper energy, a unique personality, and a special presence that inspires something beyond fashion. A muse isn't just a model, they become part of the creative process itself. But why do we even call them muses? The word comes from Greek mythology. The ancient stories tell us that Zeus and the Titan Mnemosyne had 9 daughters, each gifted with a special talent. Calliope for epic poetry, Clio for history, Ereto for love poetry, Euterpe for lyric poetry, Melpomene for tragedy, Polymnia for sacred hymns, Terpsichore for dance, Thalia for comedy, and at the end, Urania for astronomy. They were seen as the guiding spirits of creativity, helping musicians compose, inspiring poets to write, and leading painters to new artistic heights. They weren't just admired for their talent, but also for their beauty and charm, which made them symbols of inspiration in Greek art and sculpture. Since people tend to idealize beauty, muses were often imagined as almost supernatural beings. They were painted, sculpted, and written about in ways that made them seem untouched by time. But history also warns us, because challenging a muse wasn't always a wise idea. In mythology, those who dared to compete with a muse often faced tragic consequences. Take the story of Pierre's daughters, a story that tells people can easily turn into birds if they are interested in a music competition with a muse. Or Tamaris, who was struck blind and lost his musical talent after challenging them. This brings us to an important idea. We admire muses, but we also expect them to remain untouchable, almost frozen in time. Many designers see their muses as a reflection of themselves. And I am telling you, it's not just admiration, it's a personal connection. As Karl Lagerfeld once explained in an interview with Vanity Fair, it wasn't physical. It had nothing to do with that. It was like a family without the burden of a family. One of the most underrated yet truly influential muses was Jacqueline de Ribes. Elegant, confident, and effortlessly stylish, she was more than just a fashion figure. She was a writer, a charity fundraiser, and a producer. But what made her truly remarkable was her transformation from a couture buyer into a designer. Her first show was so iconic that it had designers like Yves Saint Laurent and Valentino sitting in the front row together, something almost unheard of at the time. Her boldness inspired Jean-Paul Gaultier to create his 90s collection, Divine Jacqueline. Her message was clear: style is nothing without confidence. She embraced who she was, flaws and all, and turned them into her signature. Even John Collins, who starred in Dynasty, drew inspiration from her. Oscar de la Renta once described Jacqueline's style as aristocratic. Her tasseled hats, vintage haute couture gowns, and dramatic capes made her unforgettable. But she understood something very important. A muse's power lies in their ability to stay true to themselves. This was a lesson she learned firsthand when Diana Vreeland, the legendary fashion editor, invited her for a photo shoot. Because Jacqueline, thinking she needed to change her look, showed up with a complete makeover. But Diana stopped her and said, "I wanted you just as you were yesterday." A powerful reminder that true muses don't need to alter themselves to be admired. Another unforgettable muse was Betty Catroux, the ultimate cool girl, and Saint Laurent's closest inspiration. Though she disliked the term muse, she was the first woman to be officially called one in magazines. Her tall, slim frame, platinum blonde hair embodied everything Saint Laurent admired. And to him, she represented independence, confidence, and rebellion. In the 80s, when new designers were rising, people kept asking who inspired Saint Laurent. Betty was his ideal figure, his brand's ultimate ambassador. And this is where repetition in fashion comes in. If you want to be known for a style, you have to embody it consistently, and there is no other way, because everything needs time to get mature enough, and over time that signature look becomes ultimately yours and it becomes a part of your identity. Betty's boyish yet feminine style was often misunderstood. Some assumed there was a romantic connection between her and Saint Laurent, but their bond was based on something deeper, a mutual understanding. In fact, she was married to a well-known interior designer and they had 2 children. Yet her friendship with Saint Laurent lasted for decades. Another muse who defined an era is our beloved Catherine Deneuve. If there was ever an ideal French beauty, she was it. Her silky blonde hair, timeless elegance, and effortless charm made her the perfect representation of Saint Laurent's vision. Their connection began when he designed outfits for her films. One of their most iconic collaborations was Belle de Jour, a film still celebrated for its modern and sophisticated fashion. But what made Catherine so captivating? She had an aura of mystery. There was always a sense that no one else could take her place in a role. And then, ladies and gentlemen, there is Audrey Hepburn and Hubert de Givenchy, a friendship that yours truly believed that shaped the fashion history. Their connection started in the most unexpected way. Givenchy was a young designer, at the same time working as a waiter in a fancy restaurant when he first saw Audrey. She stood out because she was sophisticatedly drinking only a single cup of coffee, while others indulged in full meals. And from that moment, she became his greatest inspiration. Audrey once said that Givenchy's clothes were the only ones that truly matched her personality. And that's the key to why she was such a powerful muse. She wasn't just wearing the clothes, she was living in them. This brings us to an important lesson, that style is about embracing what feels natural to you and only you. The Italian concept of la bella figura, actually the idea that how you present yourself shapes how others see you, perfectly captures this. Audrey's style was effortless because it reflected who she was. In modern fashion, one of the strongest muse-designer relationships of all times is Marc Jacobs and Sofia Coppola's. Unlike past muses, Sofia isn't just admired for her beauty. Her soft-spoken voice, delicate yet confident presence, and refined taste in fashion and film make her captivating. She was the queen of the late 90s red carpets, known for her minimal yet luxurious style. And Marc Jacobs sees her as more than just a face. He describes her entire way of living as art. Well, that's the secret to being a true muse. It's not just about fashion and looks, but about the way you carry yourself, the life you create, and the energy you bring to the world. In the end, being a muse isn't something you can force. It's about originality, presence, and a kind of effortless confidence that draws others in. Whether in fashion, art, or life, the most unforgettable muses are those who embrace their true selves unapologetically. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the muse-designer relationship. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And see you next time. Until then, keep it classy.